All right, now that the onions are sliced, we're going to begin the cooking process. Now, I recommend using a pan of this type that has the high edges. You don't need to get a giant soup crock. Really what you want is good width, so that way there is plenty of room for the onions to all get close to the heat source. For beyond the onions, really all you need is 3 tablespoons of butter that I've kind of cut up into little cubes. And then this is your saving grace. This is just a little bit of water. It doesn't matter how much. I just, poured a cup, but you shouldn't need that much. But what will happen through this cooking process is sometimes, if you're doing it right, really, the bottom of the pan is going to start to pick up a little bit of the brown bits. And you'll want to just put a little dash of water in there and scrape those up. That really helps add to the flavor and gets just kind of reintroduced to the onions. I begin using tongs to stir the onions. Once they've kind of all gotten a little bit softer, then I'll switch over to a wooden spatula. Helps me scrape the bottom. And that's really it. So what I'm going to do, this process is going to take about an hour. I'm not going to videotape an hour. What I'll do is come back every 10 minutes and we'll take a look at how the onions, how they're coming along, and kind of differentiate when you might pull these off if you wanted to go a little bit earlier for a different dish compared to letting them get to the real caramelization, which so many people really don't take it that long because they get a little bit impatient. But that's just kind of what you have to do. There are some recipes out there that talk about faster caramelized onions, but really, when you're beginning, I'd say learn how to do it this way first, and then you can go for the shortcuts. All right, so not too hot, you don't want to burn the butter. I have about a medium heat right now. It's all melted. All right. Now, another thing to consider is, how much onion can you put into one pan? This is 2 onions. This is going to render down substantially. I mean, there's going to be like, half to 3/4 of a cup of onions at the end. But if you went higher than this, if you use 3 onions, then it's going to take that much longer to get everything really, wilted down to really start to get the caramelization process going. So unless you are needing a lot more onions than that, kind of 2 onions is a perfect way to go. And if you did need more, then I would recommend getting a second pan out and doing it in 2 batches at the same time. Give this a stir so they can all get a little bit of that lovely butter. And as I said before, get ready for about an hour of this fun. Do not turn up your heat to high to try to blast this. It's not going to work. There is a recipe out there by Kenji Lopez who does high heat, and it does work. However, you better have damn good knife skills to cut it as thin as he wants, and you have to do it standing over the skillet because it is done on high heat, and if you don't look the whole time, you will burn. So we're not going to go for that one yet. So right now, just medium heat, trying to get these things to start to sweat a little bit. And when we say sweat, they're going to release water. So we got to get all that cooked off and evaporated before can really start to begin the browning, which is what we want. Just a very slow and controlled brown, not a high heat, burn the shit out of it. All right, see you guys in a few few minutes.